Making a good kill was about guile and cunning and surprise, and not always blasting in and then out if need be. Finding the right angle or lure usually made all of that unnecessary. The idea, of course, was not to get caught. So the Chicago outfit liked to take its victims to secret places such as garages or basements, closed businesses or empty buildings. Its killers appeared like phantoms and vanished quickly. For the least accessible victims, maybe a bomb was the answer, as the outfit took every step to try to keep the advantage. Men like Nick were responsible for figuring out how the killing should be accomplished, and then doing what had to be done, and disappearing, though sometimes they would stop for coffee when they were through. There was no bragging and no returning to the scene of the crime to take it in. Most of the time, it was only later that the sinister handiwork would turn up, a body in a gully or stuffed mostly naked in a trunk, tied up and contorted with a gaping wound to the neck. In many ways, that layer of mystery was better when the goal was keeping Chicago's criminal underworld in line, sending a constant, threatening chill over the streets. For some, the threat of being killed was always there and felt as if it could come from any direction. That was good business for the mob, keeping outfit associates and customers alike looking over their shoulder. Break the outfit's rules or don't pay when you're supposed to pay, and that could be it. The next time anyone sees you, there's a group of cops standing over your corpse, with flashes going off while your picture is taken for the file. Bosses in the Chicago outfit marked many for death to protect the organization, sometimes from a witness who might talk to the feds, and sometimes to punish a member who stepped out of line or brought too much heat. Sometimes it was just to make a bloody example out of an enemy, and Nick was among the trusted few called upon to do the ugliest of jobs. Nick was a weapon, although a mostly reluctant one. He allowed himself to begin down the dark path, never having the courage to make it all stop. He had been in the Navy and had held real jobs. He'd been a union ironworker and had a family. None of that had involved digging holes or lying in wait for the unwary with a rope or a gun. Maybe he could have found the courage to tell them he was through. But once in the outfit, there was no deciding to quit, no retirement parties, no turning away and deciding you'd had enough. He wanted to run, but where was he supposed to go? There was really only one way out: death, and Nick was afraid of that consequence. It was an oppressive fear, a fear that had a name and a face that stayed with him, as close as a brother. It was Frank Calabrese Jr., a successful outfit loan shark who had started Nick's slow sink into the Chicago syndicate. It had been almost harmless at first, after all. Nick would help Frank Sr., a member of the mob's Chinatown street crew, make sense of scrawled loan notes and betting slips. He would collect envelopes and track what debtors owed, parking out of sight and walking to meet them where he could take their tribute. He would help run sports bookmaking and hold his brother's many agents accountable. It was a way for Nick to make a little extra cash, above and beyond what he could make doing his legitimate work. The quiet Nick was a paper and numbers guy, at least at the beginning, not a vicious killer. In 1970, the first time he watched his brother plunge a knife into someone's throat, he wet himself, he was so scared. It was dark and his pants were grimy with the dirt of the South Side construction site where they would hide the body in a small pit, so neither his brother nor his brother's henchmen had noticed. He had started as the ride-along, the spare hand, but some 16 years later, he was the kind of soldier those in command of the outfit valued, no matter his reasons for being a part of it. He asked no questions and caused no trouble, a trait appreciated by the harsh men in charge. They needed to give an order and have it carried out with merciless determination. Nick was given a job, and in a Chicago lunch bucket kind of way, it got done. He would return with a quick word or make a coded phone call where he talked about having soup or something, and the mob's business could go on. His brother passed an order from the bosses, and Nick was in, fearing what might lie in store for him if he said no. There were mobsters with more bluster, intense men who would yell and threaten and instill fear. But it's the quiet ones you never see coming. That's not to say that some...